Why Muslim men who achieve everything will never feel truly successful? I thought for 5 years that I will achieve everything and then I will feel arrived. Until I was making 70k a month and spending time on a beautiful beach in Cape Town, having everything what I wanted 5 years ago, but I had no joys, no peace, no nothing. So what was the problem what I was facing and what a lot of people are facing nowadays? So maybe for you, it will not be the 70k a month, maybe you have more, maybe you have less, but you know probably one of the following scenarios. You reach the next milestone, but the joy lasts either 3 days or 3 hours, and then you just create a next milestone what you can hunt. Or your head explodes at night, so the moment when you want to go to sleep is the moment when suddenly all the ideas come up and suddenly you cannot rest although you want to rest. Or you get angry over the smallest details and sometimes you cannot even really control your emotions. Or you know that moment that you have the feeling you are in front of people but you wear a mask, you are not the best version or the version what you really feel what is your version, so you wear a mask to either achieve something or to prove something to other people. Or one of the most common ones is that your wife tells you you are physically in the room but you are not really mentally there. If you found yourself in one of these points, inshallah this will be one of the most valuable talks you will have this week, and I will cover in a few minutes the exact 3-step process how you can resolve every dose of these problems. So let me show you the classical thought process of a successful Muslim man. You have your goals and you think that you can just push through now. You add 10 years and then you will retire your parents, your family will feel safe and you will finally start to feel arrived. But the problem is, if you found yourself in one of the problems what I mentioned, so you have the milestone, joy fades, the head explodes at night, the anger issues and so on. The problem here is that your current identity will not carry you there. And I will explain why. But just to give you an example, I had a brother, for example, who literally spends 2 weeks investing and pushing through, but then he just crashes out and then 2 weeks he is just out of the business and even not really is responding to clients or just feeling the whole time depressed. And then after 2 weeks, the cycle repeats again and then he thinks, okay, now I need to push through again. And then he pushes to other weeks. So let me show you why we tell ourselves that this is normal and why our society is so cooked. So you see that the problem is we gave ourselves labels and we say to ourselves, okay, we have a chronic fatigue, we have a sleep disorder, we Googled some of our symptoms, what we have, and or we saw it on an Instagram reel. And the problem is that you tell yourself then, I am the one out of 10,000 people who has that one sickness, who has that one illness. I am the one unicorn. I'm special that nobody else have that, but I have this disorder and this is the reason why I cannot live a better life. And the problem here is, you tell then yourself, what will fix this? The only thing what will fix this are more results. So what are you doing? You get more results. You want to get more results. More results means more money. More money means you buy the resorts, you buy the treatments, you buy the coaches, and then you finally take your time to work on yourself. But the problem is that you start to double down on the current identity. So you do more calls, you do more work, and you just try to get more output. But if you feel that something is wrong, that you just hustle and stress all the time about getting those results, about getting those outcomes, I'm asking you, what is underneath that? What is underneath that hustle and stress? Because you have 2 choices from this standpoint now. Either you accept your current situation. So you accept that your mind starts racing at midnight. You accept that you have 3 seconds of joy after one of the biggest deals what you closed, and then it fades, or you just create the next milestone because deep down you know that it didn't satisfy you. Or you accept that you try everything to stay in the present moment. Nowadays, this is now the new trend, what we try to do. And you just don't get it. You just are not able to stay in the present moment because you are just rushing all the time. So you can accept all that, but you then also need to accept the consequences. And what are the consequences? The consequences are that you will never live a really, truly successful life. Because let's define real success. What is a real successful life? For most of the people in the West, and I'm talking especially to those people who have in their bio hustle and grind and just love to be in this hustle culture, the success is defined by career, money, and wealth. And if you take those indicators, sure, they will be successful because they tell themselves, first you achieve that, and everything else comes when it comes. But if you look at their lives, they are always stressed, always in a rush, and always hunting the next milestone, right? And the thing is, some of them took even drugs, some of them have no kids, and some of them have no spouses. So you know some of the entrepreneurs, especially when you were working before you were self-employed, that you see those like old entrepreneurs in the West, and sometimes you just see that they are like, it is sad to say that, but kind of like just miserable, so that they are just like not really satisfied. And that shows you that there are 3 keywords missing here. And the keywords are peace, fulfillment, and happiness. And you can have the best lifestyle, but you will not feel fulfilled. And I'm talking from experience, as I told you, being on that beach and feeling nothing. You can have the best cars and watches, but you will still be unhappy. You can have all the wealth what you want, but you can still feel not at peace. So the successful ones, what are they doing then? And this is like one of the most interesting parts. When they achieve that success in their terms, they are hunting what? They start to hunt retreats, they start to hunt meditations, journals, and everything to fill a void inside of them. And that void is not filled or not to be filled with those indicators. So if the success really would only be on that part with the career, money, and wealth, that would be it. That would be the arrivement. But they arrive at that point and then they see that this is not the real success what they want to have. So we've been hammered from the coaches, from everyone in the West, that the goal is to have time freedom, location freedom, and financial freedom. But the thing is that this is the vehicle, not the door. So the goal underneath always was to have an abundant life, to be at peace, and to really be true, fulfilled, and happy. And if you don't have that, trust me, you will end the thing what you are trying to do. And maybe you know that you are in this cycle of starting something new and then pushing through some time, achieving some success, some results, and then suddenly after some time you just quit and start something new because there is a new AI project or there's a new different thing what you can jump on to make more output, to try to fill the inner void even more. But the end will come, even if it is, for some people it's 20K, for some people it is 50K, for some people it is even 250K. And I know multiple brothers making that kind of revenue, but this brother making 250K a month still is unhappy with his day-to-day life. And this is like why our society is so cooked. But let's go back to the label you gave yourself. So let's go back to the diagnosis and say it is correct. So you are that unique unicorn and you have something what nobody else has. And you take this as your excuse. The problem is here that this emptiness, this void what you try to fill will not be fixed. So even if you label yourself, you will still have that problem. And the beautiful thing about our religion is that our Prophet ﷺ said, Allah has not sent down a disease without sending down its cure. So living with it is not your only option, but the cure is also not there where you are looking at right now. Because the equation which is running your entire life subconsciously in the background, without you even noticing it, the core problem is that you tie your self-worth to the result. So whenever you produce, you feel worthy, and whenever you stop, you suddenly feel something inside of you. You feel less worth. So if you stop, it feels like you're failing. If you stop, it feels like you're not good enough. If you stop, you feel guilty and you feel that you're falling behind. Others are overtaking me. Or you even think that your parents will never retire. So that is why you cannot stop. This is why you cannot rest. And to be honest, like you probably see this now. This is like a toxic version to live your life. And this is not the only way how you can live your life. But the problem is that it is not that you love the work, you're just addicted to the feeling of feeling more worthy. And now I'm going to break this down for you. Your provision is already written. We believe that when we were born, before we were born in the womb of our mother, we believe that the angel was sent to write 4 things. He was commanded to write down our provision in our whole lifespan until we die. We believe that he was sent down and commanded to write down the lifespan, the deeds, and the final destination. So no matter, and I want to really make that point clear, no matter how hard you strive, you can cut down an arm and cut out a leg, you will not achieve a single dollar more than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala already has written for you. And if you believe that, it is kind of like hard to accept in the first place, but it also can give you an enormous peace. Because you know that the equation which is running your life, that the more you produce, the more you are worth, is now finished. It is untrue. This is just a belief what was so hammered in our mind, but it is not true. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that the peace is not coming from a number. He says unquestionably, by the remembrance of Allah, hearts are assured. So your heart was designed to never find rest in a result. So you remember we are talking about this void, what the successful Western people want to fill with, like staying in the present moment, meditation, journaling. But now you see that no matter how hard you try to stay in the present moment, you will never find the rest in that present moment when your heart doesn't find rest in the remembrance of Allah. So the industry tries to sell you more gratitude journal, more manifestation, more retreats, but those are all hacks which are living under the rule of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because Allah commands everything and He created and designed everything. So you know those things with like law of attraction and those law of gratitude and those type of things. So that is the reason why no milestone you achieve, even if you achieve 500k or 1 million in a month, why you never will really achieve true peace. And if material success, I want to make this sure that you understand it, because maybe you are in a place at 5k a month now, and or 10k a month, and you say like, bro, what are you talking about, like peace and fulfillment and everything? I can have peace when I'm 50. then trust me, if you see those people and material success will be the only thing what matters, those people with the most material success will be the happiest. But you see that they aren't. So something must need to be off. And probably if you are making above like 10 to 20K a month, you exactly know what I'm talking about. So here are the 3 steps to come out of this rat race. First of all, you need to understand that your worth comes from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and not from an output. So a millionaire can sit beside a homeless person, and you see that the best in the masjid when they pray next to each other. And you can see that they are from the worth the same person. So the millionaire is not more worthy as a person, as a human dignity as the homeless person. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran, and we have certainly honored the children of Adam. He has not said, and we have certainly honored the people which have the most material success in this world. So the only worth that really differentiates, and this is the important part, is the worth with Allah. So deciding how good of a worshipper you are in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's eyes. So there were people which are going to hell. There were people who are going to Jannah. But there are people which have an exceeded success in Jannah, to reach Jannah al-Firdaus, to reach the different levels of Jannah. So this is where the worth in Allah's eyes are different, but not in terms of your worthiness as a person from your material success. So then the second thing is that you get to understand, you choose the input and Allah creates the outcome. So the only thing what you need to understand and what you need to remember here is that everything is already written. So the only thing what you can control is your intention, why you are doing the things you are doing. And to give you an example, remember the last time when you wanted to go to a closing call. What was your intention to go to that closing call? I've been a closer for more than 3 years, and I've been taking like sales calls in general for probably more than 5 years, and spent I don't know how many 10,000 hours in sales. And I can tell you, my intention always was, I want to make as much money as possible. I want to close them. I want to push them into the sale because I need them to sign the contract so we can feel safe and my family is safe and I arrive to the milestones what I have. But what is that type for an intention? Subhanallah. Because when your intention is that you do it truly for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, everything shifts. When you know that it is not on you fully that the person is going to sign or not. And you all had that cases where you said, this guy will close 100%. He just said that he need to check it with the bank or that he need to check where he needs to transfer the money, but he will definitely sign up. And then he didn't sign up and ghosts you just for 3 months and you cannot call him anymore and he is not available anymore. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the one who decides if he will become a customer or not. But the only thing what you can do is to work with ihsan, to work with the intention that Allah sees you. And do you know that the right intention is to go with the intention into the sales call? I just want to close them. No matter, even some people close other people because they think, yeah, they will need it someday, so I will just close them in the best interest of them. But does it really truly help them in this current moment? Have they really the financial means to do that? Or are you like making some different Klarna payments so that you can like push them in and in the end they are not really have the financial sustainability to afford your coaching program or your program in general? So, and the third thing is that you need to audit yourself. This is now where you can take like pen and paper, when you really can like write down, where do I tie my worth to my outcome? Because when you write it down honestly and you take a moment from there on, we can look individually where we need to start to fix that issue, because there are multiple layers underneath that where it can be shown. For example, it can be shown in even in arrogance, for example, that you think, okay, I'm the one who creates the outcome, so I need to push and hustle more. So this is where you tie your worthiness to the outcome. And then we need to work on your ego to remove your arrogance so that you can free yourself from that position, so you can let the outcome really be truly by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because a lot of us, we cannot leave the outcome because we don't fully trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because when you don't trust Him 110%, you can never really fully leave the outcome by Him, and you will always try to control the outcome. And this will just lead you to always have a problem with your self-worth. So, and you will always have the problems we talked about in the first place. So, the shift here is the question from how do I get as successful as possible to everything Allah has written for you without the anxiety. So don't understand me wrong here. The goal is not to leave the financial success and to leave the time freedom and the location freedom behind. This is not the goal of this presentation. But the goal is that you understand everything what Allah has written for me, I want to have that, but without the anxiety, without the constant stress and the hustle. And with the fulfillment, with the peace, with the joy. Like, for example, let's take this here. I love to present those topics to give something back to the ummah. I could do this the whole day. And then I can, like, I even earn money with that. Like, what is this is like the best thing what can happen. So the next time we will meet, inshallah, I will break down how you can truly stop chasing and start attracting the life you truly want. Because and in the moment when you start now to think about, okay, how can I like leave the outcome by Allah, your mind will start racing and start thinking, okay, yeah, but I need to control this and I need to control the calls and everything by that. And then the most important part is how that you truly learn how to stop chasing and start really to trust in Him that the outcome will come and your provision will come. So inshallah, till next time.